Should you start a meal prep business? This is Business Idea Breakdown, and my name is Nate Jones. I break down businesses on my YouTube page, and I give them a score between 0 and 10. Anything over 8 is a business I would start. Go check out my channel and subscribe today. So today we're talking about meal preparation businesses. This could be somebody coming into your house, making you meals, putting them in your fridge, or it could be somebody preparing the meals somewhere else and then delivering them to you. When I was thinking about this business and doing some research, I remember when I was looking into buying meals myself, because it's so hard to cook meals, especially when I'm balancing different businesses, that the last thing I want to do when I come home at night is cook a meal. And let's be honest, a lot of times you just stop by somewhere and go through the drive-thru and you're like, why am I not eating healthy? You don't eat healthy because you don't have time. So these meal prep companies have really helped that process, and I'm like, okay, so there is an opportunity here for the everyday person to create one of these businesses if they know how to cook or they have a business mindset. So let's review it and see if this is something that I would start with my business brain. And I'm going to evaluate this on 6 things. Is it scalable? Can it be profitable? Does it take a lot of your time? What are some challenges? And is it sellable? And then I forgot one thing, is it easy to start? So let's hop right in. Number 1, is this easily scalable? When I was thinking about this, I didn't really think it was that easy to be scaled, because at the beginning, you're probably putting your price point at a normal level, right? And then as you get more traction, you have to raise your prices because your time is worth more. And then at some point, you as the owner run out of time. I've seen this so many times on all the other businesses I've reviewed. The owner is everything. They're the employee, they're the finance person, they're everything, they're the marketing person, and eventually you run out of time. So you gotta hire somebody. But when you hire somebody, you gotta pay them a salary. So what happens is you either have to take a pay cut, or you have to raise your prices, or it allows you to scale and get more customers to get more profit. That being said, this business, it seems like every time you scale, you have a little bit more expense that is gonna probably require you to either get another building, get your own kitchen. You probably can't do it out of your house anymore. You're gonna have to multiply employees. You're gonna have to get delivery trucks, new chefs, and chefs are not inexpensive. They're very expensive to hire if you have a good one. So a lot of issues with trying to scale this business in my standpoint. Profitability, is this easy to turn a profit? I think this is very easy. This is probably, you can probably turn your profit on your first client, because if you know your expenses for your food, your raw materials, you know your expenses, you're gonna have somebody pay more than what the food costs you. Business 101, the biggest problem with this over the long haul is ensuring that your profitability, ensuring that you're getting paid what you're worth. This is what I always say. You go in business so you can get paid what you're actually worth, okay? But in this, it's very easy for you to say, well, I made 50 bucks, but you spent 5-6 hours. Well, you're only making $10 an hour. So you need to make sure you know what your worth is in this business, because it's gonna be profitable. But the biggest thing is making sure you're putting your price at a point that it's worth you doing. So know your worth. The next category here, is it easy to start? I would say if you're a good cook, you don't necessarily need culinary school for this. I don't think you do, in my opinion. I don't really care if I was gonna hire somebody to be my chef. I wouldn't care that they went to the most prestigious culinary school. I would just care that they made good food. Now, some people may care, but that being said, if you're starting this business, I wouldn't worry about going to culinary school. I'd worry about making sure you know the basic meals, making sure you know clean eating, clean meals. So you might be able to do a lot of research on YouTube, maybe able to take some classes locally, but I don't know if you need to go through a whole year or 2 of culinary school to do this business. Next category here is time. This category, in all honesty, kind of threw this business out for me. The time requirement of this business, you're cooking the meals. You're either delivering them to the client or putting them, organized in their fridge. You're cleaning. You're constantly spending a lot of time either delivering the food, and it just eats up your time, because as the owner, you're spending time cooking, preparing, and then you're cleaning, then you're going and buying the food. I mean, it seems like this thing would just be a marathon every single week to get food out there. So I think as this business is built, the time just eats away. And then you're thinking, okay, well, when do you want to take a vacation? Well, you take a vacation, you've been feeding these people every single week. They're paying you good money to feed them every single week. And you say, hey, sorry, go ahead and go to McDonald's every day next week because I am on vacation. So I think being able to take a vacation as this, you'd have to scale past a certain point so you'd be able to have the freedom to this business, for this business to run when you're not there. That's the key, is that you want to have a business someday that's being ran when you're not there, that's making money when you're not there, that it doesn't matter if you're there or not, you're managing the business and you're dealing with big problems that come up. So the time aspect of this really hurt me on my rating for this business. The challenges, here's some challenges that I saw with this business is number one is burnout. I think this business is going to really be exhausting. Shopping, preparing, delivering, redoing it, unless you really love cooking, which I always say, don't do what you love, do what makes you money, and then go do what you love with the money you make. So scaling while keeping your price in check, I think that's going to be a challenge because as you scale, you're going to need a truck, you're going to need a commercial kitchen. You may need a commercial kitchen right away. I don't know, you're going to have to look into your local laws. But that being said, keeping your price in check, not going too high where you're sending customers away, but also being able to make money is going to be a problem. Food safety and food quality, I think that's going to be one big thing as you cook so much food at one time, you're not going to be able to cook it the same way as if you're cooking for one person. You have to cook it on a mass scale, right? So making sure the quality stays good and also the safety of that is a huge importance. Insurance, licensing, etc. I think food prep, I actually transparently own an insurance agency. I've never heard of food prep. I've never done food. I know food manufacturing is definitely one of those things, but that's at a big scale. So a common everyday food preparer, I think insurance may be an issue with that. I think local licensure and making sure I know some of the counties in which I live, you have to have a commercial kitchen to be a caterer. Now you're not necessarily catering, so you probably want to contact your local government and really see what you need to do because that may be a challenge for you. And especially if you have to put a down payment on a commercial kitchen, I don't know if I would go through with this business because that's going to be a big expenditure from the beginning. Okay, so the last thing, the most important thing is this business sellable? Can you sell the business? There's no point in building a business unless you can sell the business. Okay, so I think you can't sell this business unless it's fully scaled. And what that means is that there's another chef, there's a couple of employees, there's an actual business. That means a building with people inside of it that are working, that you as the owner can be taken out of it, and you may see a drop in production, but the business will still run if somebody else inserts themselves in the business. So this business, I think it can be sold for probably 2 to 3 times, which is about an average, maybe more of the net income. So if you build this business to $200,000, you probably sell for $500,000. Now, that being said, again, you have to scale this business. A business's value is the value it is to another person. If the other person has to do all the work, then it's not necessarily a business for them, it's a job. So you have to make sure you build a business to a point where it's attractive to somebody else to buy it, okay? So in conclusion, I gave this business a 4.9 out of 10. Why? I gave this because time. I like businesses that don't require more of my time as I scale them, that I can easily scale, and I don't feel like if I started this business I wouldn't be able to take a week off for 2 to 3 years until I hired somebody. Another thing, I think it's going to be really difficult for you to scale this business. And there's going to be a lot of potential issues that come up when you scale this business, and I've just reviewed other businesses on my page that I feel like is going to be a lot easier for you to scale and not have those difficulties. So for me, it's an under 8 score, but again, this is such a niche business. I wouldn't say, hey, don't start this business. I'm saying I wouldn't start this business. If you're a chef and you're like, hey, I'm tired of the restaurant life, I'd like to do something for myself, great business to start. It's all compared to what you're doing now. And the businesses I run now really fit my lifestyle, and this business doesn't. That doesn't mean it doesn't fit your lifestyle. So go to my channel, check out my other videos. If you're thinking about starting a business, there's a lot of other businesses out there that I've reviewed that I've given really high scores to, and you might be interested in them. Like and subscribe. Thanks.